Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm George Grisham, speaking to you from a delightful day here. We have a fantastic morning today, but aren't we still ready to speak about insurance? A fascinating subject. We're still at level 1 of our discussions, which means that it's very basic level. And today I'm going to speak with you about 6 vital questions for an insurer and for a broker, an intermediary. I'm an insurance broker, and am I not? So, when being woken up in the middle of the night, an insurance agent, an insurance broker, well, an employee of an insurance company would ask his potential client, who has come to him for protection, for cover, for help, just six most important questions. And you have to remember them, whether you're an insured, a reinsured, an insurance and reinsurance broker, and of course, a representative of an esteemed insurance company. And these questions are whom, what, for how much, where, when, history of losses. That's it. Technically, of course, the client has later on to fill in a very, very long questionnaire and so forth, but we all live in a practical world. We all know the situations when the insured has to get something covered within the next half an hour. And to help him, you have to find out just these 6 main positions, and then already to dwell upon everything else. So what are these 6 positions which any insurance company, any insurer, or how we call them, underwriter, would love to know? Whom we insure? Yeah, well, the question is simple. An insured. Yes, but is he a private individual? Is he a corporation? And then we're talking what? What is the subject matter of insured? That is a property, piece of property, a house, a car, a plant, or it is liability to third parties, or these are expenses. And we have to find little connection. I haven't put it as a separate question, but we have always to understand what is the little connection between whom and what. The insured and the subject matter insured, and this connection is called the insurable interest, which is also the object of insurance. We insure the legal interest. So these sort of 2 things were connected together are the essence of the first 2 questions, whom and what. For how much it's understandable, but it is not. Because if we insure property, we have insurable value, what this house costs in the market, and we have sum insured, sometimes half of the first amount. So for how much is an important question in property insurance, but it's equally important in liability insurance. When we're insuring a huge aircraft, for instance, I was working with Antonov 225, one of the largest aircraft in the world, and the limit, insurance limit in the third-party liability policy was $1.6 billion. But sometimes when you're insuring professional indemnity, for instance, professional liability of a small, for a broking company, that'll be $3-5 million, something like this. Well, my limit is a little bit high, but anyway, so for how much, the amount or the limit of insurance is very important. Number 4, where? Where, again, means a particular country or worldwide. Or, for instance, worldwide, if you're talking legal liabilities, excluding US and Canadian jurisdiction, because lots of people are afraid of these jurisdictions. Or if we're insuring cargo for a voyage, then where means actually from the point of departure to the port or warehouse of destination. So we have to know these regions. Very much the same an aircraft. Where is it flying to and from? Because sometimes the area of operation is much more limited, and that's better. That will make the insurance cheaper. Because really the idea is to get this information to explain to the insurance company, to the insurer, that look, we've got this information. We know that the risk is not that high. We know what the risk is all about. And you always start with 6 questions. The question number 5 is when. When means a year, or when means a voyage, for instance, for a cargo, for a ship, for an aircraft, all right? And also when, in liability, sometimes means how far are we going back? If we insure the person from today, which is 12th May, or the company from today, do we have to cover events which happened a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And in liability, it is possible, believe me, when you are insuring on the occurrence day or claims made when the claim is made. And the claim may be made for the event which happened 10 years ago. So when is an important question. And finally, history of losses. Yes, no, Insured wants to talk about his previous losses. But this is the most important bit, probably the most important question of the 6. Because if the insurance company knows all about the losses, even the small ones, and it's very good when the insured is talking about the small losses, because he's aware of the risk. He's talking about what's called in shipping near misses. Yes, the loss didn't occur, an accident didn't happen, but we were very, very near to it. And if an insured is explaining that he's actually taking account of these particular near misses, then he's a serious company, he's a serious person. So that's about all as regards the 6 questions. Once again, whom, what, for how much, where, when, and what is the history of losses. And then I'll just tell you about the little bit, which is probably the little book, which is probably not that important for you because it is in Russian. These are the 2 volumes, which I did with my friend Nikolai Solonko in Ukraine. I was sitting here in Dania. We were writing it for 5 years, 900 pages. This is about cargo insurance. But actually, we've got lots of parts of the book which can be applied to all types of insurance. And if you look at how we formulated, how we structured the book, that was more or less following these questions. Because the chapters go like this. Why insure? Principles of insurance, we've covered them. And then who, what, for how much, when and where. And then we have which risks, which losses, we've covered this already. Terms and conditions of insurance, volume and structure, and then extensions and additions. We have to know all about it. So, okay, of course, the last 4 T&C extensions, additions here in this book were all about cargo insurance. And in the second volume, we were mostly writing about claims. But again, if we were talking about transport convenience types, that's a specific thing. But how to get insured, which documentation you're getting from your insurance people, what do you do in the case of losses, are the very important questions which relate to anyone. So it was not a promotion of my book, which actually was published 8 years ago, but it was more like the actual logic any insurance person and insured is following. So once again, 6 important questions if you want to get insured. What are they? Who, what, for how much, where, when, and what is the history of previous losses for 3 to 5 years. Thank you very much. We'll be continuing. Goodbye.